In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to do kneeling arm circles. We're going to kneel in this type of position. If kneeling is problematic for you, if it hurts your knees, please do not put padding underneath your knees to accomplish the exercise. If you're padding underneath your knees, you are pain-killing a sensation that your body wants you to hear and listen to. I don't want you doing exercises that you're having to pad and sort of prop yourselves up into, because that is you not listening to pain signals that you're being given. If you can't kneel because of knee pain, typically is the reason, then feel free to do arm circles in a seated position, in a sitting position, or in a standing position, which you can also find in the exercise library as well. So there are other ways to do arm circles, but just not kneeling if your body doesn't want you to kneel. Before we get started, I'm going to come to the screen and just show you the position that I want you to do at your hands. So this is called golfer's grip. You can see it like this. It's not a fist. It's not weak hands that are not doing anything. And what we are doing here is we're keeping our kind of hand locked at the wrist. So there's no bending in either direction, no sort of twisting and rotating. The wrist is locked and straight. You've got a straight line from that first knuckle where all the other fingers tuck in and they are active in that curled up position. The thumb is staying at a 90-degree angle. We don't want that thumb doing this. We're staying really active and extended. And what this golfer's grip position is going to do is really help to open up our shoulders more. So the function of your hands is absolutely paramount when it comes to how well your arms can move, how well your shoulders can move, and therefore where your head, where your neck sit on top of your shoulders as well. Your hands are super important. So they're going to look like this. Notice how mine are really rigid, really tight, and there's no floppiness or weakness in those thumbs. Nice 90-degree angles. That is golfer's grip. So what we're going to do to start with is bring our knees so that they are hip width distance apart and the tops of our feet are staying on the floor. So my knees aren't together. They're about a fist's distance if I put my hand just in between my knees like this. And then what I'm going to do is keeping the tops of my feet on the floor and actually sort of using the tops of my feet to push down on the floor to help propel me upwards. I'm going to bring myself into a kneeling position like this, okay? So I don't want your toes sort of untucking like this. Really want the tops of your feet bearing down onto the floor. This is putting your feet into a movement called plantar flexion. When you look behind you, you're going to take a glimpse and try and keep your toes, your ankles, your knees and your hips in alignment. Some of you are going to try and bring your big toe joints together and have your ankles sort of buckling out to the side. I don't want that. I want the toes, the ankles, the knees and hips in alignment. So we are training plantar flexion at your foot. When you are kneeling, what we're trying to do is make sure that we're not hovering back here. So if we hover back here, we don't really fire up our glutes and our hamstrings. We're going to push down into the tops of our feet and we're going to use that push down through the tops of the feet to really make sure that our pelvis is above our knees in this side view. What that's going to do is put our hips into extension, a sort of stretch position. But if you're anything like me, we've got to really make sure that we don't go too anterior. So this is my body's sort of natural inclination whilst I'm here. It wants me to flare up my rib cage, lengthening me in this front body, but shortening me in the back body. And what I want you to feel like you're doing is keep your pelvis driving forwards, but tuck your pelvis under. So when we tuck the pelvis under, what we are doing is achieving hip extension rather than hyperextension of the lumbar spine, which is going to keep our hips trapped and possibly hurt our lower back. So we're trying to find this position where the pelvis stays above the hips, but the front and the back body are equal in length. Another really good tell for this is where your rib cage is. So if you are rib cage flaring, you're going to notice that your rib cage faces up to the ceiling. We want your sternum, your breastbone, your rib cage facing forwards. And so just really watch out for that. And if you are here, really flaring your rib cage or in any pain, do another version of arm circles because just kneeling is not for you right now. So the pelvis drives forward, the pelvis tucks under, and the rib cage sort of stays down. We're going to take our hands into our golfer's grip position that we've already practiced, and we're going to take our arms up to shoulders height. I am definitely wanting to sort of drift backwards here, so I've just got to keep taking myself a little bit further forwards than my body wants me to, really focusing on my feet, really focusing on that tucking under of the pelvis, feeling how my hamstrings and glutes and my quads here are working hard to stabilize my pelvic position. I'm going to show you this in the front view now, because this is where the instructions are going to change slightly. And if bringing your arms up to here means that A, you get any neck tension or shoulder tension or pain, or if you do this and you notice that your shoulders are up around your ears, I want you to bring your arms as low as they need to be so that you don't have neck tension, you don't have shoulder pain, and that you don't have your shoulders stuck up around your ears. So we're trying to draw the shoulder blades back and down behind us. And if we're not very good at depressing our shoulder blades, you might find that they're up around your ears. So bring your arms lower so you're lessening that demand on your body. Doesn't really matter how high your arms are here. What matters are your shoulders back and down behind you, and is your rib cage down? You're still going to find this difficult even if your arms are lower. Thumbs face forward, and what we're going to do typically is I would instruct about 40 reps like this. So I'm moving nice and slowly. I'm relaxing my jaw, relaxing my neck. I'm breathing in and out of my nose and into my belly. I'm pushing down through my feet. I'm pushing forwards with my pelvis, but I'm also tucking my pelvis under. The movement that I'm creating in my arms is coming from the shoulder, from the upper arm. It's not this. So I'm not twiddling my sort of hands and wrists like that. I'm not spinning around at my elbows whilst they're in this bent position. I'm really straightening my elbows, and I'm making the movement come from the shoulder girdle and from the upper arms. The shoulder blades are going to kind of rotate and move slightly, but I don't want them stuck up by your ears. And another kind of key thing to watch out for here is because lots of people lack arm and shoulder function, which is what we're testing as we do this, people will peck their head forward like a chicken. So you might notice that you're trying to peck your head or lift your rib cage up and down. Those are both compensations for shoulder function. Control the rib cage, relax your head. It's the arms and the shoulders that are moving. We're trying to pull those shoulder blades back and down behind us as we rotate the upper arms. The hands stay still, the hands stay firm. There's no bending at the wrist, there's no floppiness in the fingers or the thumbs. They are very active and rigid, okay? I'm going to count as 40 reps forward, and then we're going to do 40 reps backwards. Remember everything with your pelvis and your rib cage too. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We'll just take a little bit of a break there. If your neck is hurting you, bring the arms lower or stop the exercise. Notice that we don't want the shoulders up around the ears, nor the rib cage flaring. Keep driving forwards and tucking under with the pelvis. 20 more forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So we'll take a tiny break there. What we should be feeling for in this exercise is hopefully arms getting really tired, shoulders getting really tired, maybe your mid-back is getting really tired. What we don't want is gritting our teeth, holding our breath, head pecking, neck getting tense, or lower back getting tense. If any of those things are happening, your body is compensating, do another exercise instead. And we also want our thighs, our glutes, our hamstrings, and our feet to be working hard to keep us in this position of hip extension, but plantar flexion of the foot as well. We're going to do exactly the same thing, but this time we're going to go backwards for 40 reps. So we're rolling our shoulders back and down behind us, keeping our hands nice and rigid in our golfer's grip. We're not flaring the rib cage up. We lift the arms up whilst pulling the shoulders down, and we stop at whatever point we notice that the shoulders want to creep up. Leading from the shoulder and the upper arm, not the hand, we roll the entire arm backwards into external rotation. So what I mean there is it's possible for you just to flip your hand and your palm and be doing this. I want you to feel like the whole arm rotates from the front of the chest. That's really going to open up the chest and the shoulder girdle. 40 backwards, keep breathing, relax your jaw and your belly, off you go. 1, 2, keep the shoulders away from the ears. 4, 5, 6, 7. Notice here that I'm not going too fast. 10, 11, 12. I'm using muscles, not momentum, to create this movement. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Keep driving the pelvis forward, tucking under. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. That's a tough exercise, obviously working shoulder and arm function. We've got hand function going on. We've got hip extension going on, pelvic strength going on, foot strength going on. I'm a little bit out of breath, but if that exercise felt tough, hard work, great, keep it up. If you felt like your lower back hurt or your neck hurt, it's not the exercise for you. Try something else instead.